Hi, Shona here on Ipswich Community Radio. A very serious matter today. You can see it on the internet. Our correspondent wishes to remain anonymous. That's because there's an ongoing case with the psycho involved, because he's interviewing him as he is on bail from his hostel in Salford. The notorious psycho involved is, of course, the legendary Sheridan Coldstream. Check this out.
Thanks, Shona. I'm with my special guest right now. He is originally from Norwich, and his name is Sheridan Coldstream. His first kill was a pair of goldfish at the age of 4, killed 3 cats at 6, and then shot a pellet into a tiger's eye at Dudley Zoo at 15. That was when things started to alarm both his parents and his boyfriend, Jono, who incidentally is a sociopath, but that's another story. Now, I'll start off by asking him a very, very simple question. He calls me Bubsy, I don't know why. I'm too scared to ask him to stop. But anyway, why did you choose 2 goldfish to kill?
I think at the time I thought, I like fish and I like gold, but the 2 together just set off something in me, and I just felt I had to kill them.
Okay, we'll skip all the other animals. Why shoot a tiger with a pellet gun in the eye in a renowned zoo?
I think the tiger thing was very much exaggerated. I sort of wasn't aiming at the tiger, I was aiming at somebody I wanted to kill, and the tiger got in the way.
Okay, you left excrement on a church door, a lot of excrement that you'd collected over a period of time, and you also smeared it on the mosaic windows. Yeah. That's not a very nice thing to do, is it, Sheridan?
I was very influenced by Jimmy Boyle, who smeared his prison cell with excrement, and by certain IRA prisoners.
You've raised a lot of money for charities, especially in Uganda. You've built 3 schools, you've written 9 books. You clearly have some empathy, or is it just a challenge?
Well, they use that word sort of bipolar these days, or, split personality. But I just think really people have just got a good side and a bad side. And when my bad side comes out, I do things like that. Psychotic. When I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm terrific.
You got 3 years for beating up a lollipop man of all people. A lollipop.
Lady, actually.
Oh, it was a lady lollipop. Yeah. A lollipop lady?
Yeah.
Why beat her up? She's a great member of the community, surely doing a very important job.
The fucking zebra crossing. It was all about, she was trying to get these kids home, and it just set something off of me. I thought, I'm going to kill her.
You set an ambulance on fire, but more bizarrely, you set a fire engine on fire. Was that like a part of your humour?
No, that was because my girlfriend left me for a fireman.
Okay,
Simple as that,
I thought it was quite a humorous thing, actually, because the ironic thing, and also...
The thing about firemen.
When you caused the ambulance crash, it crashed, ironically, on a zebra crossing. Deliberate or pure tragicomedy?
Tragicomedy, absolute. Wasn't planned, but I was glad that it did finish like that.
Who influenced you in your tragicomedy?
My tragicomedy, I'm influenced by Hannibal Lecter, Kaiser Sosa, obviously. He's probably my hero. Whether he exists or not, we don't know, but I started learning Hungarian because I like Kaiser Sosa so much.
You hold cartwheeling competitions in Norwich, obviously in Ipswich. You did one yesterday. You raised £275 for our mental health charity, and you do the cartwheeling thing very well. Your obsession with cartwheeling has taken off, hasn't it?
Well, I think my daughter started doing cartwheeling, and she liked doing that, and she used to do it on the beach a lot when I lived in Spain, and I really like cartwheeling, and I think it's something that's just died a bit, really. Why isn't it more popular? Like pogo sticks, what's happened to them? And white dog shit, where's all that gone?
I don't know, but you were briefly in the Merchant Navy, and you didn't get on with any of them, did you? And you were constantly fighting. And is it right to say that you took a very sharp fork and stabbed it in a colleague's face for no apparent reason? Or what was it, for the drama? What's the reason for the fork stabbing, for instance?
I think he provoked me when he said that he didn't like a band called The Fall, who I really like, and I just couldn't understand that, and he just couldn't get his head around. I played him Fall songs, he didn't like them, so I'm sorry, that's what I did.
But right now, your great friends and your two Paraguayan aunts who play banjo have joined you in this avant-garde band, and you've written a song about the fork stabbing.
Absolutely.
How did he feel about this rather gruesome lyrics, for instance?
Well, I think my aunts were, they were slightly psychotic themselves, but I thought they weren't really psychotic enough. And getting them into the band, talking about the folk thing and singing a song about it, and the lyrics just came to me, and, I had someone help me with the lyrics who was slightly psychotic themselves, but, and it just worked. They were a word person. I wasn't that great with words, so I just thought, do it.
Your son's a psychopath as well, isn't he? Young James.
I think he's working on it. I think at the moment he's a little bit soft, but it will come.
A great volleyball player, I gather.
He is a good volleyball player, and he also plays ping pong, which is my sport. Very much underestimated ping pong. It's very, very important, and it's very good for your mental health. I found that when I'm in the psychotic thing, if I play ping pong, it chills me out.
Yeah, I saw the footage of you encouraging him to kick a wall on Richmond Bridge, and then you've made an avant-garde film where he's kicking the wall, and through the wall you have Hitler appearing. A little bit disturbing, considering he's only 28.
Well, I think Hitler's had a really, really bad press, to be honest. I mean, what he did to the Jews was, not good. But other things, I think he was right in lots of ways.
There are Jewish people in this room. That's very offensive. Sheridan. That's very offensive. I don't want this to be a part of this particular project.
Well, I hate Palestinians as well, if that helps.
Oh, right, okay. You said something about, in one of your excellent poems, Londonite, New Yorkite, Parasite. You don't like the French either, do you?
The French, well, it's a bit of a cliche not to like the French. I used to not like the French, but I was out tonight with a French girl, and, I'm actually, I suppose I'm flying in the face of fashion a bit there. I quite like the French. When you're English, you're not going to like the French, but I actually hate the Irish and the English.
Why do you have a collection of tractors, and you have a lot?
My friend in Ireland, Sean, he buys tractors and does them up, and when I sat in one of them, I just thought, wow, this is a real vehicle.
Do you ever have empathy? Is it a cliche that a registered psychopath like your good self
I have empathy for other
would not have
psychopaths.
empathy? Because I heard, not just about your philanthropic ways, building these schools in Uganda.
I don't like to talk about that, though.
I also heard that as part of your charitable efforts, you've raised a lot of money for various cancer charities, particularly cancer of the left knee. I don't know what that means. It's in your biography.
Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of cancers. There's some that are so over-publicised.
Why the left knee? Why the left knee?
It seems to be the place where the least people get cancer and they're forgotten about.
What about if somebody had cancer in the right knee? Would you just let them go? Or
That's far more common.
would you just let them go? You wouldn't put them on your scheme?
Not
You're
really,
a wealthy
no.
man. You're
Not
a wealthy
really,
man.
Not really. But I also like to help lepers.
Your
And
net
that's not really
your
talked
net
about.
worth is over 2 million. Inherited wealth, I believe. Inherited wealth.
Yeah, mainly.
Yeah. Your mother Bubsy was
No,
very
I
well.
embezzled a few people as well.
No, your mother Bubsy was very, very rich, wasn't she?
She was rich, yeah. She was quite rich.
Embezzled people. She was the embezzler. Do you think that
I probably shouldn't have poisoned her.
Did your
really.
psychopathy come from her? Was it inherent, or was it the environment that Bubsy created?
It's Uncle Victor. Uncle Victor was the real psycho in the family. We all looked up to him.
Is it
He was
true?
proper
Is it
psycho.
true you and Bubsy had a fling?
Well, I always thought that incest is a game that all the family can enjoy. And so I thought, what is this? I spent some time in the southern states of America, and it's totally acceptable there.
Okay.
14-year-old girlfriends and...
Oh, no,
incest.
please, no, we don't want to talk about,
sorry.
no, because...
And Jerry Lee Lewis was a
there,
big
there are
fan,
people in
big
this
hero of
room,
mine.
there are people in this room that are waving their fists at me, and incidentally, at breakfast, why throw the scrambled egg on the floor? A project, you called it a project.
I think art is very, it's difficult to understand and comprehend, and nobody had done it before, and I thought, this is my opportunity.
I quite liked it, actually, because and when you put the ketchup over it, it was a perfect Union Jack.
I love ketchup on that. And the Union Jack, I like the Basque flag, which is like very similar to Union Jack, but it's red, green. I think it's the coolest flag, after the Welsh flag, which has a dragon on it, obviously. That's got to be the coolest flag. But I don't like Welsh people.
And also...
I love their flag.
You have an obsession with pygmies. You quite like some of them. You've got 3 pygmy friends.
Yeah.
Psychopath pygmy friends.
Yeah. Well, I did spend some time in the jungle and I met pygmies, and I found that they looked up to me a lot, and I like that.
Yeah.
I quite like that. And I think pygmies, cannibals as well.
But I've seen a picture of you with the pygmies, and you look very small. Is that Photoshop? Or
That's
did you?
Photoshop, yeah.
Okay, very clever. You were very clever at all
I'm
that
actually
stuff.
quite tall for, a pygmy lover.
And you had a fling with one of the male pygmies?
That's never really been confirmed, and it was a crush more than anything.
Yeah, and he is now in prison for shooting an old man, is that correct?
Yeah.
Another psychopath.
And I do write to him regularly.
Yeah, so one psychopath attracts another psychopath.
Absolutely.
Or do psychopaths not exist? Do you have empathy at all?
Absolutely.
Only to people with cancerous
If
left
somebody's
knees.
defenceless enough,
Only to cancerous people.
then I will have empathy.
Only to people who have cancerous left knees and school children in Uganda, it would appear,
And lollipop
and
kids.
an occasional psychopathic pygmy.
Yeah, I can count on one hand, how many psychopathic pygmies there are out there, and I like to think that I'm in touch with one of them.
You mentioned that you were partly responsible for your mother's sad demise. We know that she threw herself over a bridge at Chelsea Harbour. Well,
that's what it looked like.
You're saying that. That's definite, because we could be handing this into the cops.
Yeah. Throwing herself off a bridge was, it was a cry for help. It really was, and I loved her, but I hated her as well.
Unfortunately, she missed the water, didn't she, and cracked her head open just next to the water, in front of a family having a picnic.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Not a good look.
That was unfortunate. But that family, I sorted them out financially. They didn't
heard that
report
you
it
did.
Or anything, so they were happy with that.
In
the end, money will sort anything.
Do you keep in touch with the Hutchinsons, I believe?
The Hutchinsons, yeah, they're from Swindon, and they were actually. It turned out to be a really, nice family, and the youngest boy, is potentially really psychotic.
Great cartwheeler as well over there.
And he can cartwheel.
Brilliant.
I'm working on his ping pong skills, and he's a top boy.
I've not really.
Zach.
I don't like you very much. I've got to be fair.
Yeah.
Because you threatened my cousin whilst we were wandering around the tea shop. I thought that was unpleasant, and I must now ask you to leave. But thank you very much for taking part.
It's been a pleasure
In this mental health feature
Absolutely.
on
Anything that helps
Ipswich
people's mental
Community
health,
Radio.
I'm up for
Oh, look, stop kicking me. Look, that is, get this guy out of here, please. Can you get him out?
Yeah, okay.
Get the fucker out. Go.
See you later.